live in the dungeon. This is the Dream Warrior Review. I'm Kurt Thomas.
I'm Miq Strawn. Hey, so we saw this film, Cirque. I don't know where this film came from.
It's been out for 9 years. I've had it on my Netflix queue for like probably a year or so. Forgot about it.
Yeah, that's exactly how. That's
how you said something.
Well, it's funny. I just happened to see an article that 9 or 10 Netflix. Those articles, 9 or 10 Netflix films that are hidden gems.
Yes.
And this came up, and the rest of them, I don't know. They didn't seem to be hidden gems at all. But then there was this one, and I have to say,
it was written by the director of the movie. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah,
Cirque du Freak, the vampire's assistant.
Yes.
Teenager Darren Shan meets a mysterious man at a freak show who turns out to be a vampire. After a series of events, Darren must leave a normal life to go on the road with the Cirque du Freak and become a vampire.
And it has...
Look at that writer right there.
The screenwriter, Paul Weltz, and also Brian...
Hegland. You know what he did?
No. It's not ringing a bell.
Nightmare on Elm Street 3.
Oh, I should have known that.
You should have known that.
I deserve a slap in the face. Slap
yes, you do. So and the funny thing is there were a lot of story elements that kind of reminded me of A Nightmare on Elm Street. Sort of like the whole journey thing, and
it's a weird combination though, because the director Paul Weltz, it sounded
Whites.
Whites. Okay.
Yeah.
It sounded familiar to me, so I'm like, oh, American Pie was the...
Oh, really? Was it?
He directed American Pie. That was like his first movie, apparently, that he directed, according to IMDb. And Little Fockers is in the list.
Oh, jeez.
But if you look at that, and then he's doing a vampire movie.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. He was doing a vampire. And I... the thing about it is in looking at it, for one thing, it has a pretty amazing cast.
It has a really amazing cast, but I think they misused a lot of the characters.
I think you're right.
Selma Hayek, Willem Dafoe.
Well, Selma Hayek was just like a throwaway character in there.
So was Willem Dafoe.
Yeah.
What was he doing? He was just like breaking in, going, ah!
Yeah,
and then saying something, and then like he disappeared for a while.
I mean, the only guy that
and I love him as an actor, by the way.
Right, William Dafoe's amazing.
Yeah, he is.
Here, go up. I'm trying to think of his name, and it keeps going out of my head.
I'm gonna click on this thing that says
John Riley.
John C. Reilly.
John C. Reilly. I thought John C. Reilly was quite an interesting choice.
And this is like kind of a serious role, which he never does.
Right. And it was kind of interesting for him, Which he actually almost saved the movie for me, but the movie, for me, I didn't really enjoy it that much. It was, I kept thinking to myself, okay, if you try to be too funny in this kind of movie, it could go really wrong. But then if you're not funny enough... Right.
And there's not much heart to the story, it's just... I thought it was kind of a clumsy story, even though it was. I didn't know it was a book adaptation. Did you know?
See,
I didn't know that.
I didn't know that either. I thought it was. I really loved the look of it.
I like how it looked.
I like the way that. I like the way that it looked. It didn't seem. I know it's going to sound weird and going to sound like a new agey, but it didn't have a soul.
Yeah.
I mean, I didn't. The one person that I really had to like, who was the lead. I mean, I didn't give a crap.
I think the lead was actually John C. Reilly, even though it was supposed to be the boy.
No, you're absolutely right. But the boy, Josh Hutcherson, could have been killed at any point, and I wouldn't have cared one way or the other. And that also includes the guy that played his friend.
Yes. Chris.
Yeah, Chris.
I don't know how to say his last name.
Yeah, I mean
Masaglia.
Yeah, both of the
probably destroying all these names here.
Yeah, you really are.
Oh, Chris. I'll just say Chris.
Yeah,
and then Jessica
Chris
Carlson.
And Josh didn't care about them at all.
Rebecca,
the girl though, I did kind of like the girl. Jessica
Rebecca,
Carlson.
Yeah,
is that the Rebecca character? I enjoyed her.
I feel like they were almost trying to spoof like Twilight.
Yeah.
But it was like, if John C. Reilly would have ripped his shirt off, that would have been funnier, probably.
Well, I would have enjoyed it. But I mean, I like the girl, but the rest of it.
I did like how they tried to make a lighter movie, but with a dark story, which doesn't. It's awkward to me. I think that's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah,
like the whole thing was awkward.
Yeah, it was. It was awkward. I mean, there were some odd pieces that
I like some of the characters, but like, what's up with the guy with the suction thing or the fogger thing that turns people into? I don't know that. Yeah. That was bizarre.
No, I completely agree.
And then the guy that from Godzilla. What's that guy's name from Godzilla? Wanatanobe.
Yeah, right.
And I was killing myself trying to figure out. I've seen this guy before.
And the guy with the huge forehead. I did like the little creatures though.
Yeah, that was Mr. Tall. That was Ken Wanatanobe.
Right, that was Ken. Oh, was it really?
Yeah, and I was like, he looks so familiar. So I had to look it up, and I'm like,
oh, that's him.
So that's when I discovered it was a book adaptation, and I was looking at some of the comments, and people that liked the book hated the movie. Like, it was pretty consistent. Like,
really,
1 out of 10.
Because the movie didn't really suck me in, you know. I mean, just as a production designer,
I was casually watching this.
Yeah.
You know how when you're like, I started doing other things, like, oh, I'm gonna look at my phone.
It's when you're sitting at your desk, you know, and you're like, you're bouncing your pencil.
Yes.
You know, and then you start playing drums, right? So you pick up the pencil and the pen, and you start playing the drums, and you're 10 minutes into the movie.
Yeah.
That's, you've got trouble.
Well, and I stopped with 20 minutes left, and I just went to bed. Yeah. Then I finished the 20 minutes during my lunch hour. I was like, I'll finish it during my lunch hour or whatever.
I think to myself, it could have done it. It literally could have had a half an hour come off of it.
Totally.
I mean, it was 2 hours long.
I thought the special effects were pretty decent, though. The way they did that made it look like the look and the feet was good, but the story was horrible.
Right, and I think that by pulling a half an hour off of it, they could have cleaned it up a lot.
Oh, yeah. I mean, maybe lose some of the characters.
It really dragged in the middle, man. It really dragged a lot.
Oh.
I love that
the moral at the end. They had a moral at the end.
Oh, did they?
Yeah, it's not what you are, it's who you are.
Oh, that's right. Well,
I'm like, it made me throw up a little bit in my mouth.
Absolutely, absolutely everybody said it.
Yes.
Within the last 10 minutes.
They should have started singing. See, this is what they shave off some 30 minutes.
Tell me you didn't
add a song at the end with them all dancing.
Tell me you didn't like the Killer Monkey. Killer Monkey the ape was amazing. I mean, you know what it looked like? It looked like an ape in an ape suit.
I like the poorly maintained theater that just fell apart.
Like,
nothing was nailed down.
Yeah, well, but that happens. That happens.
Well, I guess we've experienced theaters that aren't really put together well lately.
Yeah, well, anyway. Screwing up. I kind of like that the coffin, his coffin in the end had a cup holder. Did you notice that?
Well, I think John C. Reilly's had a little, it looked like a wine glass hanging there or something, or maybe a brandy
might
sifter.
As well be comfortable.
Yeah, might as well. I meit if you're going to spend eternity in a coffin, you might as well enjoy yourself.
Well, eternity or a night. I
think they had speakers in it, too.
Wait, that's right. Well, it obviously had speakers in it. It comes with a cup holder.
I've always wondered where vampires, like, what if they have to get up in the middle of the day? Where do they pee?
That's really true. They don't.
Or do vampires pee?
Or is it like a catheter thing? Do they pee blood? Do they pee blood? And how do they know? I think it would be dust. And how do they know whose blood they're peeing if they go? Wait, you think you have cancer? Oh, I don't know because I always pee blood.
I think it's more of a dust cloud. It's like, and then they just sweep it up the next day.
So you don't shake it, you blow on it?
I guess so.
Oh, I'm sorry, that hurt. Anyway.
I almost had too many, like they could have saved a lot of money too, because they could have gotten rid of half of the people that were in it. And why waste money on Willem Dafoe and Selma Hayek if you're not going to use them? Like,
really, I mean, really, both of them were underused and not even not even introduced as being main characters in a way.
It didn't make sense. Like, I was confused when they came in. I'm like, what?
No, I agree. The editing might have saved some of the writing.
Right.
Well, because
I know. Yeah.
That's you would be surprised what you can do with editing.
Well, and this movie didn't know what it was. It didn't have an identity because
it really did.
It was kind of dark for a while, but then when the monkey girl, it got a little, like, it almost seemed like a teen comedy for a minute, and then it kind of, I don't know, it was like bouncing all over the place.
And there was an element of it that when you get that look, that dark, colorful look, it's like there's this sense of relief when you come out in the day, and we didn't come out in the day.
No.
Like, we did a couple of times, but not enough to provide enough of a contrast.
This could have been more like that movie where they improvised the whole time. What was that? Why am I blanking on it? The vampire movie where they were improvising the whole everything.
In the Shadows?
Like, they could have made it look like that.
Yeah.
And just have it stupid like that.
Yeah.
And I probably would have enjoyed it more.
Yeah, probably. Yeah. It was,
especially with John C. Reilly.
But obviously they did put a little bit of money into it. I mean,
yes.
in terms of like the cast and the look of it and so forth. I just think you're right in that they didn't exactly know where they were going.
I did like some of the fight, like the fight where they were crawling up the theater, the the drapes or whatever.
The drapes,
that was pretty cool. Like, it was a cool visual, but
but not enough to save it.
There wasn't anything that excited me. And then what were those little shrunken guys?
I love them.
I didn't know what was going on there though. I was confused.
They were. Did you notice?
Well, I saw at the end
his friend or his enemy, longtime enemy friend.
Yes,
it was hard to tell who all these people were. By the way,
right?
The enemy friend gets killed and he shrinks down into one of those and gets into the car. Right?
Like, I feel like they should have had uniforms because they're vampires that didn't want to give in to their thirst.
Right.
And then the other vampires wanted to, or they did,
or they did.
So they should have had different colored uniforms or something.
But then there was like, well, I'm not.
But
I'm not. You know what?
The shrinking him at the end was like,
I'll tell you what,
okay.
I'm not going to go into it because I don't care.
And what was up with the purple guy? The guy that had the purple spray, he had a high pitched voice and was just,
I don't know,
weird.
It was confusing.
Would you get in the car if he just pulled up? Get in.
Well, the last time I did, there were problems. I'm just saying, Bill.
The guy with the gas. With the purple gas. So I would rate this pretty. See, I really like John C. Reilly's character and the way he played it.
Right.
So if he wasn't in this, I'd probably give it a 1, maybe.
Right.
So
I was going to say,
I
was going to go 1.5.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm right there at the same
there you go.
spot.
I think that we have.
But that's pretty good to bring it up from a 1 to a 1.5.
Well, because it was John C. Reilly, you know.
And I wish I could say Willem Dafoe, but
he wasn't there enough to even know. And
but what was with him, like, suddenly just showing up? Like, there were a couple of occasions where I was like jarred by it a little bit. Like, what's he doing there?
I also like Ken Watanabe though. His character was kind of interesting too. So.
Mr. Tall.
Yeah, Mr. Tall.
Yeah, I don't know.
Anyway. So I have no great stories to tell. No, just.
I think if you want to watch a movie about weird people and go watch Freaks.
A great story. Yeah.
Yeah.
Freaks. Go back to the 30s. Yeah.
Go back to the 30s. Watch Freaks.
In fact, you know what? I'm going to go watch Freaks right now.
There you go.
Later on.
The way to cleanse yourself. Thanks for joining us on the Dream Warrior Review podcast. Don't forget to tell your friends about us, follow us, and, of course, like us. We can be found on Podbean, which is an amazing app, YouTube, Stitcher, Alexa on any pod, iTunes, Google Play. We're on Twitter as well, at DW Review, and, of course, Facebook. You can find us there. You can also email us at dreamwarriorreview@gmail.com.
didn't lie to you folks. We told you we had living, breathing monstrosities. You laughed at them, shuddered at them, and yet, but for the accident of birth, you might be even as they are. They did not ask to be brought into the world, but into the world they came.
She's the most beautiful big woman I have ever seen. Why, Hans, how you talk. I should be jealous pretty soon. Don't be silly.
You must come to see me sometime, and we'll have a little wine together. Frida, something's wrong. What is it?
Well, that Cleopatra woman, my Hans. Oh, I cannot tell it. You think because she's so beautiful and I'm just a man? Hans. To me, you're a man. But to her, you're only something to laugh at.
You spoil everything if he hears you.
And it's not for Hans you care. It's the money. He has told you of the fortune he has inherited.
A fortune? Can you beat that? A fortune? And I have him like that?
Let them laugh. They're swine. I love her. They can't hurt me, but they hurt me.
They're going to make you one of them. Mighty luck.
Let her try doing anything to one of us.
Their code is a law unto themselves. Offend one, and you offend them all.